Hi doves! Today I will not only be saving you time, money and resources, but I'm also going to be helping you guys save a little bit of money and avoid being disappointed at the border by paying these extra fees. You might want to stick around because I'm going to be breaking down this video in details. So if you've been looking for a video that has everything from documents, fees, time, everything you can name it in one place, this is the video for you. So you might want to take screenshots or grab a pen and paper for notes. Better still, you can subscribe to this channel so you don't lose the video altogether. Okay, so let's get started. My name is CLARISHIAN.B for you. Okay, so let's begin with the documents. So first things first, we are going to begin with the yellow fever card. This is not something that you can have or not have. It's very much compulsory if you're entering Kenya or crossing from Kenya to Uganda. So you are going to be required to present a valid yellow fever card. And if you do not have it, you can kindly go to KCCA and you'll be helped, or you can visit private clinics like Novik. Now the prices differ. If you go to KCCA clinic, you might spend around 20,000 to 30,000 Ugandan shillings, but if you go to Novik, you might spend around 80,000 Ugandan shillings to 100,000 Ugandan shillings. Some hospitals will ask for 70,000, others 50,000. The prices vary according to where you have gone to get the vaccination. So if you also have other vaccinations you've taken, you might want to take them down or ask the doctors to write them down in your yellow fever card. That helps as well, although it's not compulsory. Like I just did that, so you can do it as well. If you have other vaccines, please make sure you list them. Okay, so the next document is a national ID. So if you have a Ugandan national ID, a valid one, it's good. You can present it at the border and you'll be able to cross from Kampala into Nairobi, Kenya. Now it's an ongoing issue as of now that so many people's national IDs have expired, and you might want to take the risk and go and try to explain yourself at the border, like, you know, tell them, oh, Uganda said we have 1 extra year to use these expired national IDs. It will not work for you, honey. All you have to do is go and have yours renewed, and that takes about 2 weeks or something. I don't know. You need to go there and verify the information because it will still vary at the time you've gone, because we are going into elections. Okay, next year we will be voting, so that time is critical. So if you're going to travel, you might need an agent or someone to help you out with your national ID. Now this is for the kids. If you have a kid you're traveling with, or children you're traveling with who don't have national IDs, don't have a passport, you might want to take their valid birth certificate. Now this has to be from NERA. If it's not from NERA, it's not going to be valid. So you might want to go down to NERA and get that national birth certificate. I hear it's 10,000 Uganda shillings. I don't know, but I think it's also free of charge, but there's some other extra fee you pay. You might want to verify that information, but I think for the most part it's free of charge. That's if you're gonna wait on the time they're telling you to wait. Okay, then if you're traveling with a kid and the kid does not have a national ID, the kid does not have a passport, you might want to carry passport size photos. They require one, but I would advise you carry like 3 or 2 just in case you drop one. You will need that. Now for the adults, you also need a valid passport size photo or size photos, because if you're going to be using a national ID, you will need that. But if you're going to be using a passport, you will not need that. Okay, then let's talk about a valid passport. For those of you guys who have the new passports, because we were asked to renew our passports, you can use it and they'll just stamp in and you'll be able to cross from Kampala to Nairobi. Now if you do not have that, just follow what I told you guys earlier on in the video. So yeah, then let's go on to the 10,000 Ugandan shillings. Okay, now earlier on around the intro of the video, I did mention that at the border you will be required to pay some extra fees. Okay, it's this 10,000 Ugandan shillings. Now if you do not use your passport and you're going to be using our national ID, you will be required to pay 10,000 Ugandan shillings. Now this money has to be in the Ugandan form, like the note has to be the 10,000 Ugandan note. You don't have to exchange that, bring it via mobile money and try to transact. That will not work for you. All you have to do is bring it in cash, because that's the only way they'll be receiving your money and working upon your issue. Now if you have already transferred all your money, you're going to have to go back and do another exchange to be able to get that 10,000 Ugandan shillings. Okay, that is for the people who do not have a passport and you plan on using a national ID. Please do not forget to carry the 10,000 Ugandan shillings, because it's a must, it's non-negotiable. Okay, if you've come this far so far in the video, please kindly subscribe, comment your questions down below in the comment section, like and share this video to a friend, a family member, or someone who plans to travel by bus from Kampala, Uganda to Nairobi, Kenya. So let's move on with the next part. So the next part is, now because we are going to be traveling from Kampala, Uganda to Nairobi, Kenya by bus, it's very important we do discuss the type of buses, the prices, and the advantages of boarding both buses. Okay, now I'm very aware there's so many types of buses that do carry people from Kampala, Uganda to Nairobi, Kenya, like Trinity, Jaguar, I don't know, there are many, but I chose to be comparing the little buses and much power buses. Okay, now these are the prices of the VIP and then the ordinary seats. Now in my next clip, you might want to stick around. I'm gonna be showing you guys what they offer when you board Babito or when you board Mash Power. Now Mash Power buses have different interiors. This is what I could capture for you guys, but the Babito buses are new, that's why they are trending. So if you want to travel in something new, you might want to board that one. But even these other buses, the Mash Powers, I believe they do have new buses, but this is for you guys to compare. So when you go to pay for the ticket, you know exactly what you're walking into. Now if I have missed something and you were able to board one of the buses, kindly put it in the comment section down below, so that people who are looking for information can quickly find it. But this is all I was able to gather, so you know, make your choice wisely. Another thing I can tell you guys is, before you do board, please ask the conductor to let you see the interior of the bus before you board it. It's very important to see and try on, you know, and sit and see if there's enough leg space for you or not. So that is what I can tell you guys. If you choose to board any of the buses, those are the prices, and that's what comes with the VIP section. Okay, I hope I have covered that one nicely and neatly, because I want you guys to travel safely, but most importantly to enjoy your ride. Now I must say this as well, when you choose to board a bus, you might travel at night, because most buses do travel at night, although there are some that do travel during day as well. Okay, I just wanted to put that one out there so you guys do know about it. Internet connection, now so many people get it wrong. Like here in Kampala, Uganda, you can use Airtel, MTN, or whatever, but once you cross the border, MTN Uganda is not necessarily the same as MTN Kenya, so you might be disconnected from the internet for a while. Now I have a friend of mine who recently visited Kenya, and he has suffered with this issue so far for 2 weeks, going to 3 weeks. He has not been able to use the internet, all because he can't access it. Now he bought a Kenyan line, Airtel line, but still everything was not working out for him. And you guys, I'm gonna be telling you guys about Airlo, and that's an e-line SIM you can use, and I want to be telling you guys later on in the video all the details about Airlo, so you might want to stick around, because it's for those people who want to use the internet to upload on their social medias like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So if you are the kind of person who wants to use internet for search or different things, maybe work, and you want to use that eSIM, you might want to stick around on this video. I'm going to be explaining in details a bit later. Okay, so let's move on to the dressing code. Now we know Uganda, we have like the best weather. It's normally warm or chill. It's never that cold to a point you need to wear a sweater like from morning to evening. Normally the seasons change, and we the Ugandans are aware of the seasons, how they change. Now if you're crossing from Kampala, Uganda to Kenya by bus, that means you're gonna feel it, like the weather. I advise you guys to carry warm clothing. Carry a scarf, carry stockings, carry warm pants, jacket, jumper, sweaters, anything warm, because you don't choose that kind of weather. For you it will be extremely cold versus those people who have traveled before, or the people who come from Kenya. It's much easier on them when they come to Uganda and cross back. But for you, since you're crossing into a new country, new weather, it might be a little bit too cold for you. Okay, like as I promised you guys about the eSIM, now I'm gonna be talking about ELO, or however you might wanna pronounce it. Now this SIM card is very, very important. Like it helps you access the internet wherever you are, because this friend of mine who traveled to Kenya only accesses his internet when he's back at the apartment because of the apartment Wi-Fi. Now when you have ELO, you can go in the fields, in the city, or in the village, wherever you are, you'll be able to access the internet. It comes with data bundles like I have shown you guys on the screen. You can read through, or you can go and have detailed information from their website. I brought it to your notice because so many people do not know about eSIMs, and this works for you guys who have like the nice phones, like the recent Samsungs, the recent iPhones, and other types of phones that are recent. You don't need to buy a physical SIM card to be able to use this kind of SIM card. All you have to do is just connect it, and boom, you're connected. Now it costs about $5. It costs about $5. I don't know the current price, but recently it has been going for $5, so you might want to double check that, but it's about $5. And ELO is like one of the best, although it's not the only type of eSIM you can use. You can make your research on other types you can use. I just wanted to let you guys know that you have an option that you can use. Okay, you can still be on the internet, you can still be on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, like immediately. Okay, so another thing I talk about, you guys, that I skipped on earlier is Safaricom and M-Pesa. So if you're going to be using Safaricom, it's very good for calling back home, sending text messages and all of that, so you might want to buy it for those reasons. Then if you're going to buy M-Pesa, it has its advantage that you'll be able to use the mobile money and do money transactions freely and quickly and fast. Okay, so know the difference between M-Pesa and Safaricom and their advantages. So for you who just wants to operate on the internet, you have projects, you have to upload something, download something, send something, I highly advise you use the eSIM, that is ELO, or you can search for other things. I might leave something in the description about ELO for you guys who want to do research, people who want the exact website. I might get you guys a link. If I do, I'll leave it down below in the comment section. So we are in the section of extra tips, and let's talk about this now, money exchange. Now if you're moving from Kampala, Uganda to Nairobi, it's very advised for you to exchange your money in Uganda, then have that money at the border, or just cross into the country with the money, because you might want to purchase a few things along the way, drinks or something. But when you're going to be exchanging your money, please do not try to exchange your money on a Sunday, for you will be highly charged, the rates will be high, and because there will be people who are operating on the Sundays, your rates might be a little bit high, so you might want to do that during the week. And another thing is, don't try to exchange your money at the border, because the borders also do have extremely high rates, and yeah, you might want to save your money on that. Okay, so another thing is, do not attempt to buy any SIM card at the border, that is Safaricom, Airtel, MTN or M-Pesa, because it's more likely you'll buy the duplicates, and when you get into the country you are required to again buy the original. Now you spent money before and now they're asking you for extra money to be able to buy the original one. Okay, now if you need some sort of information or help, it's very advised that you ask the security guys or someone wearing a police uniform or the army, for they'll be giving you valid information, especially when you're asking about anything in Kenya, because you're coming from Kampala, Uganda. Okay, then lastly, it's about the scammers. Now when you go to any foreign country, because you cannot speak the language barrier is something, I advise you to get a friend or a local via Instagram, Snapchat, like befriend someone before you go there. Get someone you can trust, then they'll help you out, they'll help you around Kenya, because if you go and then you begin showing signs of you being a foreigner, you can speak Swahili, you're only speaking English, and your English is different, there is no accent in it, the Kenyan accent, you're most likely going to be scammed, or you're going to buy things at a tourist price. They could be doubled or tripled prices. So you might want to get a local or pay a tour guide or something of a sort. The person will be helping you around for communication purposes and for, you know, safety issues as well. Then for you guys who are going to be moving into Kenya for a while and you're going to be using some sort of transportation, I highly advise you download the transportation apps like Uber, Bolt, and different things they use over there, so you'll have it, you know, swift for you and clear for you, and you'll have it easy for you. Okay, so those are some of the things I could share with you guys today. Do not miss my other video. I'll be uploading how to travel to Rwanda, Kigali from Kampala, Uganda by bus, and then I'll also be doing another video on how to travel from Kampala, Uganda to Zanzibar by bus. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment on this video, because I am going to be showing you guys how to do it at a very cheap expense at a very cheap cost. And I'm also going to be giving you guys itineraries on the things you're going to be doing in Kenya, the cheap ones, the free ones. If you're in for such kinds of goodies and freebies, kindly subscribe. It does help me a lot. It's your girl CLARISHIAN.B, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thank you for sticking by. Thank you for coming to the end of the video. I love you so much. Bye.